ticket.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh. You know owning a home is one of the best investments you can make, but keeping it comfortable, energy efficient, and looking great, that takes a little extra work. But this summer, Universal Windows Direct is making it easy to finally tackle that project with an offer you can't pass up. Right now, you get to choose your offer. Pick the one that works for you. Payments as low as $99 a month or 12 months with no payments and no interest. Call 414-410-2000 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by Zach Harper of The Athletic. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but despite what a certain national online company tells you, a car's not one of them.
Let's see. Cheese Doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. Green 4-door hatchback. Honey, we're gonna need some more quarters.
Sure, they make it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online. And unlike those national companies, you get to see the vehicle in person and test drive it before you buy it. You also have the assurance that the vehicle's been thoroughly tested, and if any issue does come up, your local Adam member dealer is right here to service it, and can also provide low financing and top dollar for your trade. Think about that before you take a chance with their so-called vending machine.
What? It's stuck. No! Oh, rats.
Start your search at adamm.com.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI-HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Lillard goes into the front court. He's going to fire up a three for the win, and he hit it! Game time has arrived on time in overtime. 143 to 142. Damian Lillard.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Tonight again had a tough shooting night. He is 5 of 16. Turner takes it the length of the floor the other way and slams it home.
No, I mean, look, I'm not scratching my head. I totally get where this came from. It's just this is a move that you make when you don't have any other moves to make.
What they did today is bad business. Putting $20 million of dead cap on your books for the next 5 years is bad business. It's way worse to lose Giannis.
Bingo.
That's horrible business.
If I'm an Indiana Pacer right now, I'm absolutely disgusted.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count our chairs stacked.
Would it be inappropriate to just, I don't know, start the day with a little Horst chant? Horst, 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 Horst. Horst, 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 Horst,
Why?
Why?
I mean, I know you were mowing lawns all day yesterday and you had the headphones on. You just missed the big news? You don't understand what's going on here today?
Well, no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
Number one.
It's part of the reason.
Man's a genius.
I don't know. I didn't get that excited about it. It's fine. They're still not a championship team.
What? Okay, first
Do you
of all,
think they're a championship
so
team?
here's the thing. Are they closer today to being a championship team than they were yesterday when we all convened? Yes.
Not with a healthy Dame.
Well, right, but Dame's not healthy.
Yeah, that's...
So I look at Dame was a bad move. I don't care what you say. It was a bad move. You can't say it was a good move. It's like signing Bakhtiari. Was not a good move.
Yeah, but
was not. No.
But everybody does it. You can't judge.
I agree.
It's not like they signed the deal knowing that Damian Lillard and Giannis were only going to play 3 playoff games together because Giannis was going to blow out his calf, and then the next year Dame was going to blow out his Achilles.
You don't have to blame anyone for it to be a bad deal.
No,
it was a bad deal.
But what I would say is that, like, I don't think you can use injuries as an explanation or defense of a move being bad. Every team in the Bucks situation would have made that move for Dame Lillard because Giannis consistently asks for the front office to make a championship caliber team, create a championship caliber roster. And John Horst, who we will continue to praise as the morning goes on, at least a portion of us, did that when he went out and got Dame Lillard. Now, the injuries to him and Giannis and did I see a stat yesterday that said that they played a total of 26 minutes, playoff minutes together?
Probably.
Dame and Giannis played, I think, something like 25-ish playoff minutes together. You can't control those types of things.
But also, here's why it wasn't a bad deal, Chew. Kept Giannis in town.
Yeah, I'll give them praise when they win.
Well, but no, but it kept
when
Giannis
they're
in town.
close or they win a championship.
But Dame,
it's like
the Dame move kept Giannis here. Without the Dame move, I don't know if Giannis is here today.
My phrase for the day is, I don't have the strength. And it started with TJ Watt, because every article is here. He's going, I don't have the strength to do this today. I really don't, because it's not going to happen. So what the hell are we going to talk about?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What's not going to happen?
TJ Watt coming to the Packers.
Oh, sure. We can get to that as the show goes on.
But I'm just saying, okay, it's fine, and I love his aggressiveness, but I'll give you credit when it works out.
But it has worked out.
How?
In
Giannis wasn't going anywhere to begin with.
Oh, well, we will discuss that
Giannis
as well,
wasn't going
because there is a theory out there that based on the moves that you saw yesterday that the Milwaukee Bucks make, and we will continue to discuss that this morning, maybe he was closer to stepping away than we think, right? It wasn't just a, hey, I'm packing my bags, Mom and Dad. I'm really running away this time. Maybe it was a little bit more significant. And again, I'm not trying to say that Giannis is sort of manufacturing outrage or manufacturing, what would the word be? Urgency, manufacturing urgency. But it seems like John Horst recognized that in order to keep Giannis here, he had to swing big. He had to pull off a move like this. And I said to you guys this morning, the crazy thing is yesterday as we are discussing the Milwaukee Bucks, because there were moves, right? We talked about Bobby, we talked about Brooke, we talked about the potential of Pat, and we'll talk about that as the show rolls on. Never one time did we say, you know what the Bucks should go out and do? They should go out and get Myles Turner. They should go out and get Myles Turner, one of the top free agents in the NBA. You know why we didn't say that, gang? Tell me why we didn't say that yesterday, Gabe.
They couldn't afford it. Couldn't happen.
Here's my concern. Okay, you got to pay Dame anyways. Dame's getting all of his money.
Yep.
All of his money.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Dame's not playing next year.
Correct.
How do you know that Dame's not going to come back after that Achilles and be third in the MVP voting and light it up?
He might, but
I'd be willing to bet you.
That's fine.
All of your money.
But do you want to wait?
That he is not going to end up being third in MVP voting.
So you think Dame is done?
I think that when you tear an Achilles at 34 years old and have to rehab it at 35, and now you're coming back at 36. Yeah, I mean, do I think you can be a nice player? Yeah.
See, I have to wait and see. I got to wait and see.
You tell me. You're the former professional athlete.
Yeah.
You think Dame, who really counts on being an explosive athlete to do what he does, because he's undersized, and he has had a tremendous career, top 75 player of all time.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me he's going to, off of an Achilles injury in his mid-30s, going to have the explosiveness required to be a second-best player on a championship team.
No, but Kevin Durant's thought of as still a pretty damn good player.
But Kevin Durant's different because Kevin Durant can shoot over people. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall.
No, I get it.
Kevin Durant lost some of his explosiveness, but because he's one of the best pure shooters the NBA has ever seen, and he's 6'11", he can shoot over people. Dame's 6'2".
I know, but I have to wait and see.
Okay,
You
here's
don't
what I
know.
will say.
I have
Here's
to
what I
wait
will
and
say.
see.
Here's what I will say. They are positioned now to actually be a competitive team, whereas before we were all mentally preparing ourselves for a quote-unquote gap year. And as soon as they made that Myles Turner deal, and as soon as you saw that Dame Lillard's money was being stretched, I said, what gap year? This isn't a gap year. Bucks didn't sign up for a gap year. And that's where I think you have to give John Horst credit. Because when we were logically rationalizing our way through this thing, the best we could come up with, Gabe, was that they could convince Giannis to just kind of go after an MVP this next upcoming year, right? Average a triple-double every night and be the MVP or at least a candidate of the league. Now that would feel like underachieving to me. Now, those things could still happen. Him winning the MVP and him being averaging a triple-double each night. But now it is, you're going to be a player. You're going to be a competitor. You are going to compete for at the very least, in my opinion, an Eastern Conference title. Because of what we talked about, the rest of the league, the rest of the Eastern Conference, dealing with the injuries, dealing with all of the issues that all of them are facing. We said that the East felt wide open. We obviously were not the only ones. John Horst saw it as well and said, I got to strike while the iron is hot.
John Horst doesn't give a rip about the future. All he cares about is, how can I best extend this time that Giannis is in Milwaukee? We'll figure the rest out. Like, when Giannis is gone, this bill is eventually going to come due. And that time for John Horst and the Bucks is whenever Giannis leaves. Whether that's he leaves on his own accord, whether he decides to retire a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, that's when the bill will come due. And they don't care how long they're going to be bad for after Giannis, because they want to do everything in their power, including doing something that nobody has ever done with stretching out this Dame money, to maximize everything that they have with Giannis. Because they can't win a championship without Giannis.
No.
They can't win a championship without Giannis. With no Giannis, it's nice you get all these pieces in return, and maybe one of them becomes good. But I mean, we lived this for 50 years with the Bucks. Between 1971 and Giannis, they were good for a short little stretch that got blown up way too quick because of George Karl. Then they were basically irrelevant until Giannis came, got good, and then started in 2018 being one of the best players in the league.
Chewy, were you okay when the San Francisco 49ers did something similar?
With
going
Joe
out.
Montana?
I guess it's the whole all-in mentality, right? Like, at some point.
I look at this as Aaron Rodgers. Okay? You just got rid of Aaron Rodgers. You think Love's going to be a really good replacement, and he showed flashes of it, but got to show me more. You see what I'm saying? It's like, all right, Dame is Rodgers. He's gone. Okay, you got some nice stuff. Let's see what you do with it.
Is Dame Rodgers or is Dame Devontae?
He's Devontae.
You think so?
Because Giannis is Rodgers.
Yeah.
In this analogy, anyway.
Yeah. So I want to see, do I like it? But
it's a fantastically creative
who's their
move.
three-shooter? Who can sit at and just drain threes all day long like
Gary
like
Trent
most teams have?
Jr., Torian
Can
Prince.
drain threes.
Torian Prince was
Then why
second in
did
the
anyone
NBA.
pay him? Then why, if they're the guys, why didn't anyone pay
Torian
him?
Prince was second in the NBA in three-point percentage last year. Gary Trent Jr. shot 41%. Because the reason, Chew, is nobody could afford to pay these guys. The NBA economics are complicated. Like, way more complicated than they need to be for fans to follow it, but nobody had cap space to go out and pay these guys. So basically what somebody like Gary Trent Jr. did, he signed it's a 2-year deal, and I put that in quotes, because now what he's going to do is he's going to opt out at the end of this upcoming season.
Yeah.
And more teams are going to have cap space next year. So either the Bucks, who are going to have his bird rights, are going to be able to give him more money next offseason, and they're going to be able to pay extra money, or he can go elsewhere and get paid because, teams actually have money. Outside of the Brooklyn Nets, nobody really had money to spend on outside free agents.
Yeah, I'm not an expert when it comes to the NBA hoops, but I know it's a 3-point league.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's a 3-point league.
You're absolutely right.
So you need 3-point shooters.
And you need to surround Giannis with 3-point shooters. This is
Correct.
a guy at 7'1" who shot 39% from 3 last year.
Who's that?
Miles Turner.
Okay.
So that's the thing is when people are making comps, and we'll continue to try to analyze all of the angles of this morning. There is a lot of stuff to get to, obviously, because that was obviously not the only move that the Bucks made, but it was essentially replacing Brook Lopez with a younger Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles Turner is 8 years younger than Brooke Lopez. And as much as we were like, sad to see Brooke go, a lot of people felt like it was time. This was an enormous swing. And we haven't even addressed, and we will, how it bankrupts one of your biggest competitors, the team that has knocked you out of the postseason the last 2 years, in the Indiana Pacers, right? Like, if you're a Pacers fan today, you're already dealing with the shrapnel of the Halliburton injury, and now you're also dealing with the fact that one of your longtime players, I think the longest tenured player, tenured player, is now up in Milwaukee, and you're going to have to face him in the division, who cares, but in the, obviously, Eastern Conference. Gabe, to me, that element of it is not getting enough attention.
Yeah, because you weakened a team that was thinking, okay, if we keep this core together, we just navigate this 1 year without Tyrese, we're still young enough that we turn around and next year, we're going to be ready to go. And that is the one clear thing that the Milwaukee Bucks wanted to do this offseason. Even, again, ridiculous stretch and trade provisions, big surprise moves, they accomplished it. They wanted to get younger. The oldest players on this roster are 31 years old. There's a couple that are 31, including the one they just brought in Harris. I think Taurean Prince is 31. But this team got significantly younger than they were at the beginning of last season with Dame, with Brooke, with Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
They decided we needed to get younger, and they were able to do that.
No, I love his aggressiveness. I love his, but I got to wait. I got to wait and see. Got to wait and see. I'm not having a parade today. I'm just not. I've seen these things blow up too many times.
Yeah, and look, don't get me wrong, Chewy, this is big risk. Big risk.
It is. Why?
Because nobody's ever done this. Nobody's ever stretched out and decided, hey, we're cool eating $22 million against our cap for the next 5 years. Now, the Bucks did this with Larry Sanders back in the day. Cut him, stretched it, but Larry Sanders wasn't making $113 million. So you're eating $4 or $5 million. The way we see in the NFL, right? Where, okay, we'll just cut this guy and eat X amount of dollars against the cap.
And then you usually suck.
Yeah.
Like everyone anticipated when they cut or traded Rodgers, they hit that massive cap hit, they were going to stink.
Yeah,
right? We all
because you're eating a lot of money against the cap. So it is a huge gamble. It is a big gamble.
I love it.
But I love it.
I love gambling.
Because essentially, you guys, you're gambling on Giannis.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. The gamble was, of course, was he going to leave? Wasn't he going to leave? You have to continue to show that you are competing or you want to be or you are fighting to be a championship caliber roster. Horst makes a move like this. You know what it does to Giannis? It says, all right, I'm all in and they're all in. And when you know that the team is all in, that the front office is all in, I'd ride with Giannis, man. Generational player, unicorn. Like, he's one of those guys who can almost single-handedly, he can't, but almost single-handedly get this team in the postseason. That's what we thought. We were like, maybe, if the ball bounces correctly and they can, get hot at certain times, maybe he can drag them to the playoffs by himself. He doesn't have to do that. They were able to, obviously, we want to combine what we had talked about yesterday with getting all of those guys for team-friendly deals, and I know you've given some of the details of those, and now this Myles Turner swing, also getting out from under, at least in part, the cap of Damian Lillard, and then obviously trading away Pat Connaughton. There were a lot of things. I mean, the fact that Shams is tweeting yesterday, and it's like, Milwaukee Bucks make this move, Milwaukee Bucks make this move, Milwaukee Bucks make this move. Milwaukee was the center of the NBA universe yesterday. And even this morning, as people continue reacting to it, we want to give you the opportunity to react to it all morning long. 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and Text line. You can always watch the show on our YouTube stream as well. That's at ESPN Milwaukee. What's up, Chew?
One question. Was Dame really happy or was he just masking?
What a good setup, Chew. We're going to talk about that right now.
Okay.
After this, here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Want to tell you about our friends over at Mentality, because it doesn't matter what age you are, low testosterone can be an issue with any guy. Mentality, a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. Okay, what does that mean? Well, if you're dealing with low testosterone, you could be tired, groggy, just don't feel like yourself, don't have that energy to not just get through your day, but attack your day the way that you need to. Because look, whether you want to admit it or not, work can be a competition and you need every edge that you can get. So if those are kind of the ways you're feeling, book an appointment, lowtusa.com. Book an appointment with Mentality here in Milwaukee. Go through their process, get a blood panel done, see if your testosterone levels are low. And then if they are, work with Mentality. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. They're going to come up with a customized testosterone treatment plan just for you, just like me. I do it. I've got my regimen I got to do each and every week. I check in with them every 12 to 13 weeks, make sure my levels are where they need to be, if any adjustments need to be made to my plan. This can help you too. I have the energy to attack my day, do all the different things that I love to do. So go to lowtusa.com. Mentality allows treatment to fit into every guy's lifestyle. Learn more about Mentality. lowtusa.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94, right at Mitchell Boulevard. The right shoulder is blocked with a crash. And in the backups of this, we've got a disabled truck. It's like an open-top truck, and it is blocking the two left lanes. So we do have a bit of a bottleneck coming in from about 20th Street. So give yourself tons of extra time for that. Northbound 41, backing up from Mayfair Road up past Burleigh. Then we've got southbound heavy from just south of Appleton Avenue down to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Partly cloudy skies, slight chance for a storm later on, a high of 87. Tonight, isolated showers or storms, partly cloudy otherwise, a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, heated rivals go head-to-head.
Myles Schwarber, and this place is going bananas.
The Philadelphia Phillies, the New York Mets.
It's out of here! Juan Soto stops and celebrates.
Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Milwaukee starts at 5 p.m. on 94.5 ESPN and always streaming on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's been over 2 years since Bobby Carpenter had regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. He needed relief from knee pain, but he wanted to avoid surgery.
I thought I might have to have my knee scoped, had some injuries, some lingering pain from stuff that I had been dealing with from years of playing professional football, and things had kind of flared up again. I started talking to a friend of mine who's orthopedic, and he was like, well, try to avoid surgery if you can.
And you absolutely can avoid surgery. QC Kinetics provides patients with state-of-the-art regenerative treatments, orthobiologics from your own body that help heal and restore damaged, aching joints. And we'll let Bobby tell you about that.
It was all of a sudden that one day, a couple months later, I was here, let's go jog, let's try to see what I could do. And the more I did, I was pain-free with it, and it was actually a pretty remarkable process.
Before going under the knife, see if you're a candidate for non-surgical joint pain treatments at QC Kinetics. Call them today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Attend the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday Night Live. Gates open at 6 with music from Hot Rod, Huey and the B-Sides, starting at 7. Epic bands, unforgettable nights. It's Wednesday Night Live at the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park this Wednesday with Hot Rod, Huey and the B-Sides.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can just save yourself so much time by going, okay, we like this guy. Let's take a look at all the different things he did at the Combine. I just hit my phone, and now my hand is just tingling.
What's with you two today? Jesus. Do you know how to function?
I just like...
On 94.5 ESPN.
Maybe you're like me, and yesterday when you heard the term wave and stretch, you thought it was an old Jazzercise video. Wave and stretch. Wave and stretch.
Right, calm down, Richardson.
Wave. Okay. Be a lot more excited if I was Richard Simmons over here. I had never really followed this whole wave and stretch, the stretch provision that the NBA allows. This was sort of news to me. So I did a lot of reading up, obviously, when it affects the Milwaukee Bucks. And it is a seldom used provision, Gabe. It basically, as we have discussed, allows you to waive a player and then stretch the remaining cap hit over several seasons, which is what the Bucks are going to do, to the tune of, what, $20-some million?
Yeah, and you can't have only a certain percentage of that can take up the cap. Right, because teams, there are people out there, clearly the Suns don't want Bradley Beal. Why don't they do this with him? Because they're already eating some other dead money. And the stretch provision can only take up around 15% of the cap. So with the cap going up, like if this was last offseason, I don't know if the Bucks would have been able to do this.
Because it would have exceeded the 15%?
It would have exceeded the 15%. So they were able to get this under the wire because of some of the extension and the elevation of the salary cap. Again, and teams usually do this for, I think the last guy who this happened to is Nicholas Batum. And Batum's not making anywhere near the money that Dame is, right? You're eating some of that money, and ultimately it's just kind of, it's almost like an accounting error that you end up, kind of eating against your cap. It's an aggressive move.
Bobby Marks yesterday tweeting out that this is the largest wave and stretch in NBA history, nearly tripling Batum's waiver by Charlotte years ago. So there were reports immediately afterward about how Dame was feeling, how Giannis was feeling about all this. And this is where things got a little weird yesterday, okay? So first of all, it was wild. When it crossed my phone that Dame Lillard was waived by the Milwaukee Bucks, I checked to see if it was Shams or if it was Shans.
Sharms?
Or you know what I mean? I was like, this is a spoof account.
Yeah.
Like somebody is, and they had copied and pasted the template that had been being used for all of the other free agent stuff.
The Adarn Schefters of the world.
First thing I did.
Walter Sapp. I'm like...
Isn't the Sharp guy a real guy, though? Isn't there a Sharp?
There is, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is Sapp a spoof of that, or is that a...
I think it's supposed to be Warren Sapp. I'm
like... I don't know what you're doing.
So, long story short, I had to check. And then it was like, whoa, how did they do this? So then the reaction was, I saw initially, Giannis is not happy about this. What? I can't imagine that John Horst is doing any of these big moves without at least, I'm not saying asking for permission, but at least keeping Giannis in the know. Did you think initially that Giannis would be upset by this decision to waive Dame Lillard?
No, I did not, because I figured that he was, and it came out that Giannis was a key part in helping recruit Myles Turner, that they're both excited to play with one another. And again, not that Giannis needs to know the intricacies of all the different aprons and the complexities of the NBA salary cap, but I think he had to know that, hey, we don't have a ton of space. Something's got to happen in order for us to get somebody like Myles Turner. And I'm sure when he was having his conversation with Horst, it was, hey, this is what we're going to have to do. And him and Dame really like each other. And I'm sure, man, that sucks. But all right, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. And again, when ultimately Dame is going to be happy, because he is. All the reporting out there around Damian Lillard is that he is thrilled.
Why wouldn't you be?
Because you get your money, and now you get to be a free agent for the first time ever. So he seems to be happy. So I don't know why Giannis would have been upset at all about how it, maybe he was disappointed that it didn't work out with him and Dame, because he was really excited. And I mean, again, who isn't? If you're a Bucks fan, a member of the organization, who isn't disappointed with the way it turned out between Giannis and Dame? Stinks that it didn't work out. But you got to make those decisions and move on.
Yeah, Dame gets paid, and he gets to choose where he wants to go.
He's a free agent for the first time ever.
Someone's going to benefit, and they don't have to pay him. All they got to pay him is minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wow. That's not good.
So that's why the reporting yesterday was a little confusing of like, oh, Giannis is upset over the way this has gone down, and then it was actually Dame is ecstatic, I believe is one of the words that was attached to it. I'm inclined to believe that maybe there was some initial shock, but once you wade through the details, as Gabe, you just did so eloquently, you realize that this is a win-win. that the Bucks obviously clear up the cap space in order to go get Myles Turner and put themselves in a competitive space yet again. And Dame, as we just mentioned, is kind of it's unceremonious, but it's also not negative. It doesn't feel like, hey, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. It's like, it didn't work out. We're trying to make the best of a situation that didn't work out for us, but you're actually going to benefit and we're going to benefit. This is the classic win-win.
Well, they were already going to have a conversation, apparently, around the reporting. I think Sam Amick and our pal Eric Name had this over at The Athletic. That the Bucks and Dame were going to have a conversation this offseason about, hey, is this where you want to be? Because Dame was having trouble. I mean, it didn't fit the way that everybody thought it was going to fit because Dame and Giannis both need the ball maybe a little bit more than they were anticipating. Maybe Giannis going more off ball, and it didn't work out. And it's been really hard for him. His kids are all the way out in Portland. And we knew that in year one. And year two, it was a little bit better, but obviously not what he wanted. So, hey, if Dame would have stayed healthy and they had that conversation, chances are Dame would have been traded. And the last time he got traded, he didn't go exactly where he wanted to go. He wanted to go to Miami, didn't work out there, ended up coming to Milwaukee. So now, hey, how about we just give you all your money? You get to go rehab wherever you want, and then you get to be a free agent. And you get to choose where you want to go. And now, also for Dame, he doesn't have to feel the pressure of rushing back. You know he would have felt that pressure in Milwaukee next year. Because at the end of the day, he's a competitor, wants to help his team win. If the Bucks are knocking on the door of, hey, they're the 5 seed, the 6 seed, they got to make sure they stay out of the play-in. Like Dame would have tried to rush back to do everything he could to help the team. Now you can set your own timeline, take your time, take this next year off, and still collect $113 million.
Does Turner become available if Halliburton doesn't get hurt?
It's a great question.
So it's interesting because a lot of the narrative surrounding Myles Turner was that they wanted to keep him. Like they were actively or engaging in conversations because he was a free agent. I believe I had heard. So maybe, Chew, that was the trigger. Because they realized, wow, we're going to have a really tough time competing with Halliburton being out all of next year. Let's get something for... Oh, he's a free agent.
Look at what the Celtics have done. They're dumping.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know next year is going to be a gap year for them with no Tatum. So they're dumping. Indiana's probably following suit.
Yeah,
I mean, we need some good luck around here. Seems like all our luck has been bad.
Let me tell you this.
Right?
So the other day, I'm walking with my girls, and there were some flowers on the side of the road. Stay with me here. And my daughter's asking me to use the app that I have on my phone and say, Mommy, what are these flowers? So I take a picture of the flowers, and bloop, it pops up. They're Dame's Rocket. And I say, these are Dame's Rocket. And my 5-year-old goes, like Dame Lillard? I said... Yeah, like Dame Lillard. I said, how do you know about Dame Lillard? She said, he's my favorite player. Dame time. Starts tapping her wrist, my 5-year-old. So yesterday, you can imagine.
Tough.
Sat down, had a little chit-chat. Her watch is sitting right there on the counter, her Dame Lillard watch. And I said, so Dame Lillard is not on the Bucks anymore. She goes, what? Why? She was like beside herself that Dame Lillard. And that is a thing that happens. Obviously, we get attached to players, but obviously it's a business and they move on. I am reading an excerpt from The Athletic. It sounds like there are teams that are already interested in Dame Lillard's services. The Warriors, Celtics, and Lakers are known to be among the many teams that would have interest in doing a deal sooner rather than later. If you're sad for Dame, don't worry. He's going to land on his feet, and he's got a big pile of money to cushion that landing. We got to take a break. We got Adam Schefter coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. There will be a lot of Bucks talk this morning as we continue to talk about what this does for the Bucks. Where are they as contenders? Evan Cohen had a great take yesterday on one of our programs. We'll get to that as well. Stick around. Adam Schefter next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's commercial payment solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and, this is most important, boost that bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Slow westbound 94. First of all, we got this broken down truck on westbound 94 just past 30th Street, blocking the 2 left lanes. So you really have only got 2 lanes to work with here, maybe possibly 1 entrance lane from the 25th Street on-ramp. So just keep that in mind if you're heading through there. We got backups out of the Marquette. And then a little bit further on at about Mitchell Boulevard, we've got a crash off on the right shoulder being worked on. Squad is on scene, so they'll be helping out with that. Eastbound 94 seeing delays from Hawley Road all the way through to about 35th Street. We've also got southbound 41 backing up from Appleton Avenue down past Hampton. Northbound is slowing down just before Mayfair Road up past North Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy with a slight chance for a storm later on, a high of 87. Tonight, isolated showers or storms, partly cloudy with a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Ready to escape to a resort that has it all? The Island Resort and Casino is your total thrill getaway, where championship golf, a luxury spa, world-class gaming, and epic entertainment come together. Tee it up at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Unwind at the Drift Spa. Dine, play, win, repeat. Go all in on an unforgettable getaway. Book your total experience today at islandresortandcasino.com.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Choose from payments as low as $99 a month or 12 months with no payments and no interest, plus a free in-home window and energy assessment. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Come on, guys. Let's think about this. Could you do 50
That
straight
was
days of
very
burgers?
condescending. I just
No,
want to be
no,
clear
that's
on
not.
that.
Let's put our heads together.
Again, I have children. I know condescending when I hear it.
Come on,
On 94.5 ESPN. Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move, and he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
I would just say that right now I think all options are on the table. I think that they went through that trade thing and they talked to teams, and it's not like those talks are shut down, but they didn't go anywhere. And when they don't go anywhere, it opens up the possibility they could be back.
Adam Schefter on JGC is sponsored by Island Resort and Casino. Gaming, casual, and fine dining. 2 golf courses, a luxury spa, and live entertainment. Your total experience is at the Island. Also brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. First Weber Real Estate Services. The real estate MVPs of Wisconsin. Get started today at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Oh, Adam Schefter, very popular all of a sudden here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Look at all those folks that want to be associated with our guy, Adam Schefter. Good morning, Adam, from your dark dungeon lair. What's up?
Yeah, I guess I should put on both lights in my office. I have one light on, and it's not shining on me the right way. It's making me look like I'm a character out of The Shining right now, I think.
It's fine. You still look great, bud. Chew, I guess you wanted to talk to Adam about some...
I can't take it anymore, Adam. TJ
Watt,
he's not going anywhere. I know it's talk radio. You know what it is to me? Like, and I've checked out. My saying for the day is I don't have the strength. It's like Wisconsin could get 900 inches of snow in a night. But if New York gets 6 inches, it's, catastrophic. Catastrophic. Is TJ Watt going anywhere?
Look, I think we all would agree. It's hard to imagine that Pittsburgh would move off of him, and we don't expect that they're going to trade him. But I'm just telling you right now, it's July 2nd, and this has been unsettled for weeks, if not months, and he's not happy. So where's this going? Now, again, I think we all would agree. The most likely outcome by far is that he winds up on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are adamant about having him finish his career. But you know what? It's a window into his thinking and what's going on in the state of relations between the two sides. He's not happy. They're not close. This needs to be fixed one way or another by both sides. And if it's not, it's going to linger on. And this question is only going to increase over time.
Yeah, but
is that fair, Chewy?
Yeah,
is that fair?
But they don't make those moves at corner if they're going to weaken their defensive line. To me, that's just it'd be.
Look, I'm not here to tell you they're trading TJ Watt. I do not expect that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is there's an unresolved issue that other teams are charting and monitoring, and they're waiting to see if the two sides can get it settled as we think that they would be able to, but they have not been able to do yet. And Pittsburgh has gone out and spent money on Darius Slay and DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, but they haven't paid the one guy who's going to get the most money, who's the biggest heart and soul of that team, who's not happy on July 2nd.
Can you tell us who kicked the tires?
Well, I can tell you that there have been a couple of teams I've spoken to that are like, is there any way, that they'll trade him to us? Again, my answer to that team is the same as it is to you. I don't think it's happening. I don't expect it. I also will say, and I'm not trying to raise the antenna. Again, I want to be very clear. The most likely outcome by far is that he's back with Pittsburgh, but it is still unresolved. And at one point in time, the Las Vegas Raiders also said, we are not trading Khalil Mack. Only after a summer of contract discussion failures did they turn around and trade him on Labor Day. Do I think it's happening here? No, I don't. But it's also unresolved, and other teams are waiting and watching and monitoring it to see if at some point they need to step in and make an offer to a team that also has a lot of draft capital and is going to want a lot more draft capital for the future for a quarterback when the draft is in its city.
Adam, we're pretty pumped up here in Milwaukee after what the Bucks did yesterday, but it was shocking. It was surprising. Nobody saw it coming, and then they had to do something that we've never seen anybody do in terms of the waiving and stretching of the Damian Lillard contract. Can you think of a deal in the NFL that just came out of nowhere that really shocked or surprised you?
Well, it does happen. Let me just say this. Again, from the outside, I know nothing, right? I don't know anything. I watch it like you guys watch it. But when Damian Lillard is waived, he has his next home. Okay? He has his next home. He knows where he knows where he's going. Okay, I know, like, that thing is done in advance. Okay, so he didn't want to be in Milwaukee no more. They have it set up for him to go, whether he's going to Golden State or Miami or whatever the hell it is. Okay, but he's leaving, and he has it all set up to go wherever he's going to go. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. These things are done in advance. Okay, I might be wrong. It's not my regular sport, but I just think that that's the kind of thing that's set up in advance. A football comparison.
Because this just came out of nowhere because the Bucks didn't have any cap space, and then they did what they did with Dame to create that cap space. Like just a move that kind of came out of left field.
Did Joe Montana happen quickly, Adam?
Joe Montana was traded 5 days before the draft from San Francisco to Kansas City.
I mean, yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty big shock.
Was that that they moved off of one of the greatest quarterbacks of that generation? That was pretty shocking when they did that.
Yeah.
Let me just think here a second. I'm sure there are great examples. I mean, first of all, in football, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
it
just doesn't happen suddenly in the NFL. It feels like people like you get hear the whispers, let the people like us know, and then we're all braced for it by the time it happens.
How about Tom Brady moving off the Patriots?
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How about Aaron Rodgers moving with the Packers?
That was the first one I thought of just because of when it occurred, right? It was such a big...
But, I mean, that was a breakup that seemed like it was...
inevitable, a long time coming.
On its
yeah,
way
but hold
to
on.
happening.
But the story... Yeah, and it had been building for a while, and that was the whole thing. There were a lot of conversations and a lot of people chattering, and then it came out on draft morning. I reported on draft morning. A lot of people in Wisconsin not happy about the timing of that. A lot of people, but the fact of the matter was, the way that it worked was, not to go back over history or anything, the night before, Kyle Shanahan called Matt LaFleur to see if there's any way they would trade Aaron Rodgers. And when that happened, and when it got out there, well, what the hell's going on? And minicamp starting in a week, and he's not going to be there. Well, there's your window. Kyle Shanahan created with the call. The next week, the mandatory. I'm sorry, it's the morning of the draft or the afternoon of the draft, but the story has to be told now because it's going to be relevant. It's coming to a head.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. Just like the moves made in the pros, Tony Wendorf and Associates, First Weber Real Estate Services, helps people make their own big moves every day. Trusted knowledge, superior service. They're the real estate MVPs of Wisconsin. I'm seeing reports now that there is movement towards this 18-game regular season. It sounds like formal negotiations won't start at least until the beginning of next year. Oh, that's right. We're only 6 months away from 2026. How soon before you think the 18-game season is a reality? 2027, 2028? Jen, what do you think, Adam?
Yeah. So there has been no movement then because there have been talks. So it's really not anything different other than people saying that there is expected to be discussions after this season in 2026, which again, I don't, okay, there's a specific timeline, but we've been saying all along they're going to be moving towards an 18-game season. And I don't know, my guess, if I had to guess off the top, and it's purely a guess, we're probably 2-3 years away from it. Just a guess. The CBA, I believe, is up in 2030. Maybe it waits till then. It could. I don't think it'll be later than that. And it certainly could be earlier than that. So my guess is somewhere between, 28 and 30, they implement an 18-game season. They figure out a way to do it. They tear up the CBA. They extend the CBA. Players get more money, more benefits, more of whatever they want. Nobody's going to want the 18-game schedule on its surface. It's crazy to think about, but here's what I would say to that. If you asked any player, and I'll start with Chewy right here, would you rather have 17 weeks and 1 bye or 18 weeks and 2 buys and more money? What would you rather have, Chewy?
More money.
That's the only part you heard. What about the 18 games and the 2 buys?
I'll take more money.
So you can convince yourself to play one more NFL game if there's more money involved.
Especially now. I mean, the way they practice.
Especially with an extra bye, right, Chewy?
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
With an extra bye. That's how it's. I'll bet you that's how it's going to be sold. 18, 2 buys. 2 buys. So we give you an extra buy, we get an extra game, and you get more money.
So
That's what's going to happen.
Do you think they'll take that buy away right before the Super Bowl? Or they don't
I
care?
don't know where you know what you do? You shorten the preseason a week. You move up the schedule. You have everything start Labor Day weekend. You know, you get everything going Labor Day weekend. Have it go through President's Day. Tack on the 18 games. Gives you more. I mean, by the way, like to offer more money, we add the 18th game. We now have an extra package of games, a 14-game package, which will make an international package that will sell to Amazon or to Peacock or to Netflix, whoever. Somebody's going to pay for that streaming service. It's going to be $2 billion. You know, the league's going to keep however much, an extra $1 billion for nothing, adding on a game. And the players will get more money to split up.
Well, while we're on the topic of player safety, it seems to be a lot of domes are being built, Adam, are going to be built. Has the players' complaint about natural grass versus turf fallen on deaf ears? See, what I would do if I was the players in the CBA is in 30, right, Adam? I would go in and say, hey, we'll stop talking about playing on grass and we're okay with playing on field turf. If you give us a post-play insurance package.
Well, again, it's going to be up to them to ask for whatever benefits they feel like they can get. And the other thing, I don't know the answer to this, the turf, the field, the grass that's in these stadiums now, like, is it unsafe? Is it? Do they put in like Arizona? They grow the grass and it's closed. Can they do that in Cleveland or not? I don't know. Probably
Buffalo,
not. It's probably too cold.
See, here's my feeling, Adam, because I played when it was just starting to come out. Mm-hmm. In bad weather, rain, snow, I would rather play on field turf. I think it's a better surface than natural grass. And, when it's nice out, I would rather play. So I think the players are kind of making a big deal of it when it really shouldn't be, because there are benefits to field turf.
Chewy,
I believe.
Chewy, if I were Lloyd Howell, I'd be making a big deal of everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Everything's a problem. Everything's an issue. Okay? And let's figure out where we go to make us content on those issues that I'm all pissed off about.
Yeah. Since we're talking about the CBA a little bit, Adam, you think there'd ever be a push to not allow players to do what TJ Watt and company are doing, which is
they did that, Jen. They did that, Jen.
But they still do the sit-ins. They still do the, you know what I mean? Like, we're still here.
No. Hold on. The fines for mandatory minicamp, which I believe the CBA was done how long ago? In 2020, I'm going to guess, right?
Yeah.
So the mandatory fines for those veterans is $107,000. Now, at that time, the top pass rushers were probably making $10 million a year, $15 million a year, I'm going to guess. Okay. And $107,000, I don't care what you're making, $107,000 is $107,000. But when you're making 30 plus million, it's a lot easier to make a statement. So the fine schedule needs to be adjusted in the new CBA. Plus, if TJ Watt or Trey Hendrickson or Terry McLaurin decide that they don't want to report to training camp, again, it's mandatory $50,000 a day. The issue is, let's just say any one of these holdouts goes on for 10 days. We just came up with a number, okay? And you racked up $500,000 in non-excusable fines. Well, guess what? When they reach the contract agreement, and this is on the teams, and they say, okay, Terry McLaurin, you're going to be making $25 million a year. The agent says, hold on.
Tack it on.
Can we just make it 25.1 so that we have the fine? Okay. And there you go.
Exactly.
So
we were talking about that the other day.
Adam, you know what is BS about that whole thing? And we were pissed off in the day. That fine money goes to charity, And we can't write it off. The league's able to write it off, which would fry
Well,
our ham.
I didn't know that. That is a bunch of BS. That's a bunch of BS. Okay, you know what? There's one more thing for Lloyd Howell to be pissed off about.
There you go.
Add it to the list.
Chewy's in rare form today. What else is new? Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Real good stuff this morning. You can understand we're very excited about the Milwaukee Bucks here in Milwaukee, but obviously don't want to ignore what is going on around the NFL. Thanks for hanging.
I believe Dame knows where he's going. I don't know. Certainly he knows the options of where he's going, right? At the very least, he knows, okay, I'm going to wind up either here or there. But it wouldn't surprise me if he knows exactly where he's going.
Him and TJ Watt.
Know exactly where they're going?
Well, TJ doesn't know where he's going yet. TJ thinks, I would think that TJ, we all think he's going to be in Pittsburgh, but it's not settled. That's the problem.
I know. I'm just grinding you.
It's his
Yes,
favorite
you are.
thing to do.
I'm
It's
good
his
at
favorite
it.
thing to
I'm
do,
good
Adam.
at it, Adam.
Yep.
Our conversations each and every week with Adam Schefter, brought to you by the Island Resort and Casino. It's a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing?
I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
Made by me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, Jen Latta here, and as a client of the We Sell Group, I can tell you firsthand, Rob and Nick make the home buying and selling process easier. Right now, school's out, and that means it's the perfect time to list your home. The market is challenging and inventory is tight, but you don't have to face it alone. Rob and Nick are pros. They take the stress off your plate so you can focus on your family, your summer, and just breathe. Contact Rob and Nick to see what your home might be worth in this market. Connect today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So you mentioned Super Bowls and parties and how they don't go hand in hand, which again is an absurd comment by you two, but it's just one of many on the show.
Dumber thing that Chewy has said this morning. Super Bowls and parties don't go hand in hand, or cheddar is not a top 10 cheese.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Continuing to break down everything that went on with the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, the biggest news, obviously, was them getting Myles Turner and waiving and stretching the Dame Lillard contract. Waiving the player and stretching the contract, of course. Lots of reaction rolling in this morning on the Carbless Talk and text line. Let's get to some of that. Randy in the 414 says, I like the trade. I don't know if the trade, the move. Let's go with the move. We're still below, I believe, the first apron. This is all possible thanks to the in-season Middleton trade for Kuzma, which gave us the flexibility to get under the second apron. We can still make a move, too, with the extra roster spot from Connaughton, but we don't really have many assets available. That from Randy in Greendale. There is talk, Gabe, that they still need to add maybe another point guard, somebody who can run point when Giannis isn't.
Yeah, I mean, that a lot of that's going to go to Kevin Porter Jr. I know they're rescinding the unrestricted offer to Ryan Rollins, but I don't think that means Rollins is gone. They just have to do that for financial accounting so they can afford to, because that's a hold against the cap, so they need that money. Maybe they'd be interested in bringing in Ryan Rollins. There's just not a big point guard market out there, depending upon how you feel about Chris Paul.
Oh, my God, old. Westbrook, old.
Yeah, but also Chris Paul, cheap shot at Giannis in the finals all those years. And I don't know if Giannis has forgiven him, but I haven't, so...
So he's not coming.
He's not coming.
And while we're talking about Gabe's stubborn streak, Kyle Kuzma keeps being brought up on the Carbless Talk and text line as well. Don in Mayville says, can they package Kuzma with other players to get a point guard on this team?
I mean, what they would have to do with Kuzma is probably offer they've got one pick that they can trade, 2031. Probably unprotect that, pair it with him, and see if anybody would want to take Kyle Kuzma. That's about the only option. Or you hope that, again, this is the type of thing that when you hear people say stuff out loud, you're like, wait, what? Kuzma had done an interview where he was actually talking about, I'm actually working out this offseason. You weren't doing that previously? Yay. Like, that again, that shows you how unserious of an organization the Washington Wizards are. But, I guess you hope that, maybe being around an actual basketball organization makes him put in the requisite effort to be a professional basketball player, and he can be better than he was a year ago.
AC Antosa says, love the re-signing of Porter Jr. I hope he starts. And Chef Ed weighing in saying, yesterday was a great day. We got a younger, more active Lopez. Dame had his shining moments, but they were few and far between. Who knows how he'll recover from that injury? I'm stoked. Keep getting us your reaction to everything that went down with the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, a team that now feels like a legitimate contender in the Eastern Conference. And oh, by the way, we got Eric Name coming up in the second hour of the show to give us all the behind-the-scenes action that went down with the Milwaukee Bucks. Stick around.
Still seeing some big delays. Westbound 94 backing up back through the Marquette in all directions. The problem is a truck that is disabled and stuck in the two left lanes. We've got a squad blocking off the lanes as well as a tow truck on scene, hopefully getting it ready to pull away. So watch out for those big delays. Now, the accident that we had at Mitchell Boulevard is gone, so that's good news. We do have a little bit more of a backup heading across the county line, heading past Elm Grove Road. Eastbound 94 backing up from before 84th Street all the way to 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Third Ward Beer Garden. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden this summer. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden. And check the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, slight chance for a storm later on, a high of 87. Tonight, isolated showers or storms, partly cloudy otherwise, a low of 67. Weather's brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Sun's out, suds out. Celebrate the Tsunami Express Car Wash New Berlin grand opening with free washes and membership deals from June 25th through July 6th. 15301 West Coffee Road, Tsunami Express. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Ready to escape to a resort that has it all? The Island Resort and Casino is your total thrill getaway, where championship golf, a luxury spa, world-class gaming, and epic entertainment come together. Tee it up at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Unwind at the Drift Spa. Dine, play, win, repeat. Go all in on an unforgettable getaway. Book your total experience today at islandresortandcasino.com.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Real Estate Services, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us today at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Brust and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Lillard goes into the front court. He's going to fire up a three for the win, and he hit it! Game time has arrived on time in overtime. 143 to 142. Damian Lillard.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Tonight again had a tough shooting night. He is 5 of 16. Turner takes it the length of the floor the other way and slams it home.
No, I mean, look, I'm not scratching my head. I totally get where this came from. It's just this is a move that you make when you don't have any other moves to make.
What they did today is bad business. Putting $20 million of dead cap on your books for the next 5 years is bad business. It's way worse to lose Giannis.
Bingo.
That's horrible business.
If I'm an Indiana Pacer right now, I'm absolutely disgusted.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like.
If you missed us chanting John Horst's name at the beginning of the show, don't worry, we're going to put it on social media for you so that you can chant right along with us. Matt weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line says, Dear Nation salutes the mastermind John Horst pulling off another titanic move with Myles Turner, reloading this Bucks team as a contender out of the East. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. Although we may be excited here, but didn't it feel, maybe it's just me, like nationally there was some, I don't know, sour grapes or just general disappointment or disgust, maybe even on some level, by what the Bucks have done? Like, I don't know if there are just folks out there who don't like the Bucks being good, don't like the Bucks having success, don't like Giannis staying in Milwaukee, but man, the reaction yesterday to this decision to waive and stretch Dame's contract, to bring in Myles Turner, to make Giannis happy by showing their commitment to being a contender, well, it was certainly out there. Let's take a listen, Will, behind the glass, to Tim Bontemps yesterday talking about what the Bucks did to make this move.
Like to moderate upgrade on Brook Lopez, but he's not, an all-star center. He's not one of the 5 best centers in the league, and he's essentially now going to be paid $50 million over the next 4 years, which is an awful lot of money to pay for Myles Turner. And, look, the Bucks are clearly doing whatever they can to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee, and I respect that. And on some levels, it's a very admirable approach. But this is I would say this was a pretty reckless decision to to do this move in the manner that they did, which is really the only way they could do it. And again, if it keeps Giannis there, totally get it, totally understand it. Hard to argue with doing that, but this is one that is probably going to have some real sticker shock in the not so distant future once the sort of the weight of that outlay for Myles Turner really starts to hit home as the years go by.
Why? He just said it was an upgrade from Lopez.
Well, he said slight upgrade, but we know that, again, getting younger is an automatic upgrade.
But I don't want, and you know what? I really didn't want Dame 2 years from now, 36 years old. I get what you're saying. He's not going to be the same player. So if they just were status quo, I don't think their chances of winning a championship. But he had to do something, right?
Yes.
He had to do something.
I
and he
did what I had to do.
Did what
That's
he
what
had
this
to do.
feels.
Well, and again, I understand. I mean, most general managers think about things of how can I keep us competitive in the present while also thinking about the future. I don't think John Horst gives a rip about the future. At least the future that doesn't involve Giannis Antetokounmpo. So he's going to do everything in his power as long as Giannis is here. And whatever he has to mortgage in the future, who cares? Who cares if you're garbage for how many ever years after Giannis leaves? I am capitalizing on a generational talent. When it's all said and done, a top 15, and I feel it's conservative, top 15 player of all time. I want to just maximize that and keep him here and happy for as long as I can. Future assets be damned.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I want to ask Eric, does he do this if Halliburton and Tatum don't get hurt?
So the Halliburton part is interesting because, again, as Jen had mentioned earlier, all the talk throughout the postseason run that the Pacers had was, we got to keep this core together. We got to keep this team together. And I don't know if the Halliburton injury threw a wrench into that, and Myles Turner kind of looked around and went, do I want to sit here for a year while we kind of toil away and then hope we can recapture this magic that we had really starting since January 1st to that run to Game 7 of the NBA Finals? Or do I want to play with Giannis Antetokounmpo? And he decided that he wanted to play with Giannis. And it seemed like the Pacers kind of came in and offered a whole heck of a lot less money. Bucks were willing to give him a fourth year with an option, and it was about $20 million per year for 3 years, I think was the max offer that he got from the Pacers.
But what about Tatum? Because, they exited early, and I get why. I mean, we choked against Denver. It's just harder to win it that second year, but I would think they'd be coming back more hungry. And Brad Stevens is one of the best front office guys around.
He's got a great mind, yep.
I don't know if they would have done it.
And they probably wouldn't have been able to do it, if you want to do that, had Dame stayed healthy. They may have just had to try to trade Dame straight away.
So I could sit here and wax poetic about what I heard Tim Bontemps say, and I could sit here and try to make the argument against some of the things, because it did sound like why can't you just say, hell of a move? This was ballsy. And we don't know if it's going to work out, but I appreciate the guts it took to make a move like this, an unprecedented move. That's what they should be saying. That's what the remarks should be. Our friend Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike was also on these airwaves yesterday. I believe he joined Alex Strofe, and he had some interesting things to say. And I think this is the most logical, rational defense of what John Horst did yesterday. Take a listen to this.
What they did today is bad business. Putting $20 million of dead cap on your books for the next 5 years is bad business. It's way worse to lose Giannis.
Bingo.
That's horrible business. So if somebody in its simplest form presented you, every Bucks fan listening in Wisconsin right now, two choices. You could either put $20 million of dead cap on your books, meaning if the salary cap is $100 million every year, the Bucks only get $80 million to work with, okay? You could put $20 million on your books for the next 5 years and keep Giannis, or not do that and lose Giannis. What would you like to do? So you have to consider this, the Milwaukee Bucks saying, we are willing for the next 5 years. This is bad business, but they could have been way worse. For the Milwaukee Bucks for the next 5 years are saying, we're okay working with less because we have 34 and you don't.
Well, let me ask you this. Did he have the option to do 3 years? Did they have to do 5?
If they wanted to make the financials for Turner work, yes. You had to stretch it out for as long as you possibly could.
This is going to sting. I mean, $20 million is a good player.
Yep. But again, I think the end game is a championship.
Correct.
And if they win another title with Giannis, I think you take the sting all day long. You know? I think you go,
I agree. Totally agree.
Because
I'm of the belief you win it. Give me a championship every 12 years and I'm happy. I'm happy.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
That's the big. So you say a lot of outrageous things. You've said a lot of outrageous things in the time that I've known you. This whole
you said some outrageous things in the last hour and 12 minutes.
This whole give me a championship once every decade.
How long has it been? It's been 15 years.
For who?
The Packers. Who rules the world? Come on.
We're talking about the Bucks now.
Yeah,
they just won one not that long ago.
People would be. I'm not talking the diehards. The casual Bucks fans would take 12 years all day long.
Oh, yeah, because
the
50 years
fans,
between.
The Packers fans may get a little uptight, might be a 10-year deal. But Bucks 12, yes. People would be happy with Bucks 12.
Yeah, because, again, it took 50 years to win.
No, I know.
71 to 21.
But I'm with you. I'm like, if they win a championship, fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
Lose every game the following year. I could care less.
I'm at the point where I just want Giannis, because Giannis on this team means they have a chance at a championship.
So Evan explained it perfectly. This was roll the dice.
Yep. Oh,
I didn't get that feeling before. This was a roll the dice, and
because you can't compete for a championship this year without doing this move. Because we were talking about a gap year because you're eating all the salary cap space and you can't really do anything. So, okay, what if we only eat 22 of this $50 million of cap space? Okay, it opens up. Now you can do some things.
But this goes to my thing. Would they have done it if especially Tatum didn't get hurt? Because then they don't get rid of Porzingis.
Yeah, because then it's not as open in the East.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe if I don't think Turner goes anywhere if Halliburton doesn't get hurt. But with that fact, I think with Boston kind of going, hey, we're not going to do anything without Tatum. Let's just try to reset the board here a little bit, opening up the East a little bit.
Has Vegas set numbers since this has been done?
Oh, good question.
Odds?
We'll check over at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Our friends over at Potawatomi, it may have shifted. I don't know.
I mean, it had to shift because
I did hear the guys talking about some odds yesterday. We'll see if we can put that together. I do want to take a break because, Chewy, you bring up a good point often about how you trust the Brewers brass, Brewers with a doubleheader today as the game yesterday was postponed against the Mets. So you get Freddie Peralta for game 1 at 12:10, and then you get the Miz for game 2 at 6:10. It's going to be a glorious day for Brewers fans. But you talk often about how you have the most trust in the Brewers front office. I got to say, John Horst is making a run at that title, making a run at that crown. And where is Brian Gutekunst in all of this? I want to talk about that when we come back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. But before we do that, guys, a lot of stuff we want to chat about today, including my friends over at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, you can enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It's conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's theater district. It's got deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, so you will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We still have those big delays on westbound 94. 35th Street, or just about 30th Street, we have the 2 left lanes blocked with a broken down semi that is still hooked up to a tow truck. They have not pulled it away, so big delays back up into the Marquette. On eastbound 94, we got backups from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange to 35th. And then on 41, we've got backups from Appleton Avenue to Capitol. Northbound is slow from Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol as well. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live. Hot Rod, Huey, and the B-Sides take the stage tonight at 7. Enjoy live music at the Bud Pavilion inside State Fair Park with Hot Rod, Huey, and the B-Sides. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, slight chance for a storm later on, a high of 87. Tonight, isolated showers and storms, partly cloudy, otherwise a low of 67. Weather is brought to you by InfinityExteriors.com. Dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit InfinityExteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Insight from the best without ever giving it a rest.
Goody is very consistent. He believes in young players. He believes he's put a good team together.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
The Packers have been good under Goody, just not good enough. Packers have been good under LaFleur, just not good enough.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO-certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Don't scroll past summer. Experience it live at Summerfest because it's more than just a music festival. It's your summer highlight reel. Don't miss Summerfest, June 19th to July 5th. Presented by American Family Insurance. Get tickets at summerfest.com.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws, and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow-up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Fiserv Forum, October 5th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman here. It's the Tsunami Express Car Wash 4th of July Sale Spectacular. Get 50% off any car wash now through July 6th. That's a long-lasting clean starting at just $5. And with free vacuums, mat cleaners, and detailing tools, we make it easy to reset your ride inside and out. No stress, no mess. Just a fresh, satisfying clean that fits right into your summer plans. Again, that's 50% off any car wash only through July 6th at Tsunami Express. Find your nearest location at tsunamiexpress.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He hates the ending of all comedies. Apparently doesn't like happy endings.
I love happy endings. Don't take it that far.
Muy
bueno.
Maybe that's a vote for Groundhog Day for you.
On 94.5 ESPN.
The open road is calling your name, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, you could burn some major rubber on the custom Harley-Davidson of your dreams in the Fire Up Your Fantasy Motorcycle Giveaway. That's the Fire Up Your Fantasy Motorcycle Giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries, Thursday drawings for extra cash, and reward play. Fire Up Your Fantasy is only at Potawatomi. More information available online. Must be 21 years old and a rewards member to play. Big doubleheader for the Brewers today. Taking on the Mets. You got Freddie on the hill, then you got the Miz on the hill. Just go ahead and park yourself on the couch or park yourself on the stream, wherever you're going to be today to catch those games. But Chewy, because of what the Brewers have done, and we've talked about the success they have had over the last month, you continue to remind us that the front office, Matt Arnold and company, deserve a lot of credit. Because every year they're playing against a stacked deck. And every year they find themselves in the postseason, in the conversation for the division title. And this year is no different. We're just about approaching the All-Star break, and here we are, the Brewers, still one of the top teams in the National League. So when we talk about what John Horst pulled off yesterday, does he inch closer to Matt Arnold? Given some of, again, we thought yesterday there was no way they could pull off something like this, and he basically pulled a rabbit out of his hat. Is he inching closer?
I would put him at 2. I mean, he still has his warts, you know. Dame didn't work out.
But he also has a championship.
He does have a championship, but Dame didn't work out. I mean, how do you look at the Middleton trade? Kuzma.
Yeah, but financially, it opened them up to be flexible to do some of the things that they did yesterday.
No, I would put him at 2. And like Jen said, baseball's just unfair. It's not fair. And just look at all the players the Brewers have had to ship out because baseball's unfair. Adames, Burns, you know. And we all go into every offseason, we're like, is Ananasio going to spend money? No. And everyone gets all up in arms. And what do? They win. They win. And they make great moves. They get young talent, sprinkle it with some veterans. I mean, they haven't won a championship because baseball's unfair. But they're always right there. They're in the playoffs. Now, football, you got to put things in balance because you're talking 53 guys on a roster as opposed to the other sports that
have fewer.
But Goody hasn't won a championship. Should have at least been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hasn't done that. He's got a good amount of warts, but in balance, it's, you know, like I said, there's a lot more players. But yeah, Evan really nailed it, though, because I didn't look at it from that angle. And I really don't understand the salary.
I mean, he
cap,
must have really nailed it for you to want to give Evco some credit.
He did, because you look at it and everyone else gets to spend 100. Well, you only get to spend 80. That's an uphill battle.
But we got Giannis.
But you got Giannis.
And you don't. So we're cool with that.
Yeah. Does it have to work out? Do they have to win a championship after this move?
What does have to mean?
Have to.
I mean, look, the move is to win.
Repeating the words doesn't define it.
You mortgage the future.
But he's been mortgaging the future since 2018.
Drew Holiday and Dame Lillard. And again, look, give the guy credit for consistency.
I love it. I love balls.
Every time Giannis challenges him
Can we make sure we
well, you
just
don't need
will for future reference, just clip that, save it.
Let me just tell you this about Will. He's buying.
What do you mean he's buying?
He's full-time now. Got a big raise?
No, he's not full-time until Monday, right? Monday,
yep, the 7th.
Now, I can offer you protection for 3%. No one will bother you at the station. You don't have to worry about the higher-ups.
So you'll be my agent?
No, I'm your muscle.
All right.
Agent would require a lot more brain power than this guy's
and
capable.
a bigger percentage.
It's true. It's traditionally 10.
Yeah. Where were we?
You're ranking Goody solid 3 as far as the GMs in the state that you trust.
Yes.
Gabe?
Yeah, Goody's 3.
Yeah.
Goody's 3.
Horst pulls the triggers.
Yeah, Horst is the one is aggressive in a way that, again, it's becomes scary. Too many GMs don't want to do what John Horst has done because it's too scary.
Well, it's job security.
Yeah, because your job now you're constantly putting your own
Gambling
livelihood.
with your livelihood. Yeah.
You're constantly putting that at risk. And John Horst has basically said, I don't care. I want to do whatever I can to try to deliver Giannis another championship.
What's best move for all three? Just go with best move. Because Horst didn't draft Giannis.
No.
Or Middleton.
No.
Horst's best move is keeping Giannis in Milwaukee.
Okay.
When the threat appears every year or so that he will go elsewhere, whether you buy into it or not, the threat exists. His best move has been making the moves to convince Giannis that he can win a title here?
Drew, Dame, and after and again, I know you're like, oh, Dame failed, but what happened is you trade for Drew, Giannis signs the Supermax extension. You trade for Dame, Giannis signs an extension. Like, he's been able to lock up Giannis. Now, Giannis is under contract for, the next 2 years plus an option, so you don't need to sign, and he won't sign an extension because of this move that they made yesterday. But yes, it's keeping Giannis in Milwaukee.
And I would
Giannis
say, who's the GM of the Brewers?
Matt Arnold.
Matt Arnold? It wasn't all him, though. It's just the Brewers in general in the front office.
Well, some of it was Stearns, is what you're saying?
Who they didn't re-sign and who they trade. Like, Hader turned out to be smart.
Timing of that was a little rough.
Yes.
And I think they learned a lesson from that.
Yes.
I think they learned a lesson from, hey,
about clubhouse chemistry.
Correct. Hey, that actually matters in terms of, or if you're going to do that, you have to deliver the message a little bit better.
And I got to be honest, right? Like, we want to sit here and go pass, fail, 0-1. Everything is black or white, right? But like, some of these guys are learning on the job as well. We don't want to admit that. We don't want to see it, right? It's like the underbelly of, but to your point, as long as you learn from the errors, that's why I always love, Chew, your stories about Ron Wolf. When he erred quickly, and he recovered from the errors.
Yeah.
It was like, that was a mistake. We're going to pivot out of it. That, to me, is the sign of somebody who is good at their job.
Yes.
Instead of the stubbornness of, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing because I believe in the plan and I think it's going to work. And to me, when something isn't working, have the wherewithal, have the cojones to go,
cut bait.
We got to pivot. We got to move. We got to do something different. And again, I think it's a good ranking. I wonder how we can put this on the poll, because I'd be curious how our loyal listeners would rank the GMs from a trust level. Who do you trust the most?
I think I'm going to tell you this right now, because people love the Packers so much.
Yeah.
I think Gutekunst wins, and he wins by a lot.
That's foolish.
I understand that.
It's foolish.
I'm just telling you, because the Packers are so popular, they're just going to vote for
And Goody hasn't been
guy.
Terrible. It's just,
I mean, if his best move is it drafting Jordan?
Not yet.
Is it the way he navigated the exit of Aaron? Because I
would say that's his best move, getting rid of him, because he turned out to be crap.
But it was the way he pivoted, because they thought, well, maybe Aaron Rodgers is coming to an end. They draft Jordan, he wins back-to-back MVPs, and he was willing to pivot off of what I think was his previous plan was signing Aaron to that big extension that he did. Then realizing, hey, we got to pivot off of it, was willing to eat the money.
And then Josh Jacobs and McKinney.
You got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I mean, those were great moves, right?
Yeah.
Great moves. It's just a problem in football. You got to have more of them.
Yes, 100%.
There's more. Because one player doesn't impact the game.
It's a percentage thing, not a number thing. It can't be, you made one great move. Oh, great. What percentage is that?
Yeah.
2%? You gotta nail it at more positions than just the one.
But I will say this, in fairness to Goody, he's got the hardest out of all three of them.
Not the Brewers?
Yes. Well, maybe because baseball's unfair. I don't know if I said that, but
You have. And that's why I was calling you out on it.
Baseball's unfair.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, at
Sounds
least
vaguely familiar.
At least in football, it feels like there's parity. It feels like every team has a shot. If you manage your salary cap and you draft well, you got a shot. In baseball, it's like you're already behind the eight ball. Maybe you can get around it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Hit the cue off the wall. Chew, don't you have something to tell us?
I do. Adam Sandler is coming to Milwaukee. You like that? And right now, it's your chance to win tickets. We're giving away 2 tickets to see Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend, live at the Fiserv Forum on Sunday, October 5th. Let's go with caller 6 right now wins 2 tickets to see Adam Sandler on Sunday, October 5th at Fiserv Forum.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still got those big backups out of the Marquette interchange on westbound 94 all the way to just past 30th Street, all because of a broken down semi that is stuck in the 2 left lanes. So just a couple of lanes to work with heading through there. On the eastbound side, still seeing delays from about 84th Street to 35th. Southbound 41 backing up from Silver Spring all the way down past Hampton. Northbound's backing up just past Mayfair Road to North Avenue, and then Burleigh up to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by Third Ward Beer Garden. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden this summer. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, slight chance for a storm later on, a high of 87. Tonight, isolated showers or storms, partly cloudy otherwise, a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Summertime is the time for all the big events. Weddings, milestone birthdays, even corporate events. Elevate every event with Noble Catering, a premier craft caterer in southeastern Wisconsin, preferred by over 30 venues. Noble Catering is also the exclusive caterer of Villa Terrace, an east side event treasure. And coming in 2026, Noble's new headquarters, a 400-person event venue in the heart of Bayview called Brixton's Turn. Book them for your event at noblecateringco.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Are you going to do something today?
Yes, I am.
And what exactly might that be?
My plan is to sit here and enjoy our amazing new patio set from Steinhoffel's.
Steinhoffel's 4th of July sale is going on now. Take 10% off store-wide, plus an extra $100 off every $999 you spend. But don't wait too long, because this sale ends soon.
Now, would you be a sweetheart and get me another lemonade? I have to stay hydrated.
Steinhoffel's 4th of July sale, going on now.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The other side of the world, and I'll let you know if I want to come back and coach your little game.
He's Jay Peterman.
Ian Rappaport tweeting yesterday, and I thought this was interesting. The Broncos the last few weeks. You guys done?
I got more.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You know what I say, happy wife, happy life. And that usually means a visit to my guy, Dean, the dancing machine at the Jewelry Center. Earrings, custom jewelry, and repair services. The Jewelry Center does it all, including top-of-the-line engagement rings. And when that day comes, for my 4 boys to take that next step in their lives, you can bet they'll be heading over to Dino at the Jewelry Center for their engagement ring. The Jewelry Center offers great deals and selections on both lab-grown and naturally mined diamonds for their rings. Plus, You always hear about how Gabe went to the Jewelry Center and had a great experience with the Jewelry Center specialist to pick out that perfect ring. Stop into one of their 3 locations, Brookfield, Greenfield, and Burlington today. Or check out the full inventory online at shoptjc.com.
Been a very busy stretch for our friend Eric Name, who joins us in studio now on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy to give us all the deets, all the background on what has been happening with your Milwaukee Bucks over the last few days. Let me quote an article on The Athletic, and if you're not reading The Athletic and Eric Name stuff, you should be. As star players saga go, the league has rarely, if ever, seen something as drastic and daring as this. The Bucks, well aware they're on the knife's edge here when it comes to Antetokounmpo's long-term plans, decided to cut ties with Lillard, a 34-year-old 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA team member whose Achilles tendon tear in late April derailed their plans. Eric, what was your reaction to not just the Myles Turner nab, because we didn't think that was even a possibility, and of course it wasn't, and then how they made it happen with the wave and stretch with Dame Lillard?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this is a very John Horst deal. Like, when John Horst is put into these situations, this is how he tends to react. You know, you look back at 2020, Giannis getting ready to sign his Supermax extension. Is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? What are they going to do? All right, John Horst is going to trade Eric Bledsoe, 5 first-round picks. We're going to go get Drew Holiday. All right, you come back to 2023. Giannis tells the New York Times, hey, you know, I'm not sure if the team is still pushing towards a championship. What are we doing? Do they want to win as much as I do? And John Horst goes, all right, well, that guy that we had, Drew Holiday, we're going to trade him in 3 first-round picks for Damian Lillard. And I think this is another situation where obviously – Giannis hasn't demanded a trade, as we've talked about all kind of summer at The Athletic. He hasn't done that. What he's doing is, all right, Bucks, let's see what you can do. John, what can you do? What are you going to do to make this team better? And I think there were obviously some options here where, you know, you're looking at a guy like DeAndre Ayton. That was someone that the Bucks were kind of taking a look at. And then all of a sudden, I think you start to think, is it enough? Is it enough? And this is just John being audacious, aggressive, like in all of the ways that he always has been, to go out and waive and stretch the largest contract that we've ever seen waived and stretched, to put $22.5 million on your books for the next 5 years. It is a risk. It is a gamble. It is. I don't think anyone could have comprehended a week ago. Like, I remember our Fred Katz wrote a story about whether or not the Suns would do this to Bradley Beal, and everyone reacted like, how could you possibly put all of this money on your books? And John Horst decided, like, hey, my back's against the wall. We don't have a lot of great ways to try to upgrade this roster. How can we go out and do this? And he swung for the fences.
Eric, does this deal go down if Halliburton and Tatum don't get hurt?
I can't imagine it does. And I think that's more Halliburton than anybody else. You know, in our reporting, we had kind of found that the Pacers didn't love the way that Myles Turner performed in the Eastern Conference Finals, in the finals, and were a little bit hesitant to give the money that the Bucks did, right? To go up to that $25 million and a little bit more for 4 years, 107 that the Bucks gave him. They were a little bit worried about that. I think you're less worried about that if Tyrese Halliburton is suiting up next year, right? Like, if Halliburton's still going to be on the floor, if you still have Ty run the show, you're going to be like, all right, we can make it work. Myles will grow. Like, this will have been a good experience. He's getting better each playoffs. We're going to be fine here. But instead, they don't. Now they're contemplating, you know, kind of the gap year idea that we're seeing the Boston Celtics go through. The Pacers are like, well, if Halliburton's not here, why are we spending this money this season committing to this guy that we didn't love when, you know, in the biggest moments when Ty was here? Now Ty's not going to be here, and we're still going to pay this guy. So, no, I would say without the Halliburton injury, I just can't imagine a world where this happens.
I agree with you. I think they try to run it back.
100%.
They were one game away, essentially, from winning the NBA title. So you go, we've got the recipe.
Correct.
You hit a few more shots here and there, and we're hoisting the Larry O'Brien. Gabe.
So if the Pacers didn't trust him, why should the Bucks?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. I think my argument would be, if you're talking about Tyrese Halliburton, I think of people in media, I have been among the great Pacers appreciators of the last 2 years. Like,
Same.
I've been someone who keeps telling people, like, this team is not going to lose. Like, they're just going to keep doing their thing. And so I have to say, Tyrese Halliburton makes everyone around him better. Always. That's always going to be the case. But the way that he does it is that he's going to keep passing, he's going to keep passing, he's going to keep passing. He's not going to necessarily look at his shot. Giannis is different. Giannis is going to be a force of nature every moment of every game. So while I do agree that, Tyrese Halliburton definitely made Myles Turner better, he did it in a different way, right? Like, it was going to be pick and roll, and if you could switch that pick and roll and you were fine, all right, like, we're going to be fine. We're going to get through it. We don't have to worry about Myles Turner. Myles Turner is not going to be open. Giannis is going to be on the block, and you're going to have an option. Do you want to double him, or do you want to leave Myles Turner out wide open at the three-point line? And I'm going to guess you're going to double him. Mm-hmm. And so while some of I think the good looks that Myles Turner can get tended to dry up when Tyrese Halliburton saw more physical defense, that playoff defense that can be really tough, I don't think shots are going to dry up for Myles Turner in the same way. Like, we never saw shots really dry up for Brook Lopez at the three-point line. And if they did, it was because teams were running at him at the three-point line. And you know what a guy that's 8 years younger and more athletic can do when you run at him at the three-point line? He can dribble to the basket and dunk on you in a matter of seconds. You go back to that Bucks series. Turner posters Giannis in that series. And how did he poster him? Pump fake, drive, and right at Giannis. Like, that's while Brook Lopez is amazing, one of my favorite players I've ever covered.
I am going to miss his slow-mo drives.
There's nothing slow-mo about Myles Turner. Myles Turner is not going to be in that same kind of slow-mo category. So I think for the Bucks, one, you're looking at younger, right? Like, that's a huge deal. He's 8 years younger than Brook Lopez. I think you look at that first round series the last 2 years, there were times where Brook Lopez got played off the floor. And you know who he got played off the floor by? Myles Turner. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to figure out, like, oh, why could it maybe not work for the Pacers, but it makes sense for the Bucks, I think you're just looking at an upgrade on Brook Lopez. And they affect the games in similar ways. There's, maybe 6 big men in the league that can both block shots and shoot the three. Myles Turner shot 5 threes a game at 39% last year. That's more than Brook Lopez. It's a higher percentage than Brook Lopez. Like, I think the pairing with Giannis, one thing that we've seen is Giannis really needs the stretch big that can space the floor, that opens everything up for his drives, his post-ups, everything that he does. And Myles Turner is one of, again, maybe 6 players in the league that have the three-point volume, especially above the break, like not shooting in the corners, like up above the break, that can really open up the floor for Giannis.
Well, that was one of the things that bothered me a little bit about the Tim Bontemps sound that we had earlier, where he says, is he one of the top 5 centers in the league? And I said to Gabe, yeah, but were those guys available? Like, you're at the mercy of who's available in free agency, and Myles Turner, by all accounts, was the best of those who were available. Eric Name joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. He is the Bucks beat reporter for The Athletic. You should read his stuff always. Eric, what is your understanding of the dynamic and communication between John Horst and Giannis?
Yeah, I think over and over again, we've seen over the years that John Horst doesn't really go to Giannis and say, this is what we're going to do, big fella. Here's our exact plan. Giannis tends to say, I trust you, do the thing, and then we'll talk about it. And I think this is another situation where, I mentioned those big moves, right? The Drew move, the Dame Lillard move. I know people don't believe it, but these aren't moves that John Horst is approving through Giannis beforehand. Giannis likes to have the leverage. He likes to be able to say, like, hey, I trust you, do the thing, but if it's not good enough, you got to do some more. And that's how you keep seeing these things happen. So I think, you guys would know better than I. I think you run TA's podcast. So they were about to get on the stage in Athens, Greece last night for a podcast about 30 minutes before all of this went down. So I don't think this was like a situation where, Giannis is on in the situation room on the phone talking to John. This is, all right, go do the thing, and then we'll figure it out, which is why, like, when we write the story at The Athletic, I think you can frame this a little bit as a gamble, as a risk, because you're doing Giannis wants you to push in. Giannis wants you to be competitive, and you're trying to find ways to make sure that he's happy when he comes around and is like, all right, this is something that proves to me you actually care and you actually want to win. And I think this is another one of those situations.
So to that point, could it have been true that Giannis was stunned to hear that Dame Lillard, because we heard the Chris Haynes report, which was like, Giannis is not happy about it. To me, there could have been some truth to that. Maybe not happy, but I thought stunned. I could see Giannis texting Dame when the news came out that he had been waived and signed, and was like, damn, man, like, wow, didn't see that coming, like, can't believe it, or something along those lines. And then that could be interpreted as not Giannis isn't happy about it. And then the other stuff that comes out of like, actually, this is a win-win. Win for the Bucks and a win for Dame.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that we've seen over the years is Giannis is among the most loyal people anybody knows. So he's always going to feel a certain type of way when he's losing a teammate or, something happens and then it's like, oh my gosh, this occurred. But I mean, all of our reporting, like it isn't just that Dame was okay with this. Like Dame's elated by it. Like he couldn't, like, I'm not gonna say he couldn't be happier. Obviously, I think he wishes it would have worked out better in Milwaukee, right? Like it would have been great if the pairing of these two top 75 players of all time would have led to a championship, but that isn't what happened. And now that it hasn't happened and he has a torn Achilles, Dame's, I think, excited about the possibility to rehab in Portland, be around his kids, like get to have that kind of home environment while he rehabs this. And then, oh, by the way, he can get another paycheck. And for the first time in his career, he can pick who it is that he wants to sign with. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come through, and all of the contenders in the league are going to say, well, we don't have a ton of money to spend. Would it be worthwhile to sign Dame on a minimum or sign him for $5 million or whatever it might be, just so that he's on a roster so that when we're making a playoff push, we're not worried about who we can get on the buyout market. We're just thinking about, well, Dame's going to come back in April. He's going to get his rhythm. And then in the playoffs, we have one of the top 75 players of all time coming off the bench for us. And for Dame, that can be an opportunity where he can really make a lot of money and set himself up for the next contract after that. So, I think with Giannis, we've seen in the past that he doesn't always necessarily love how business gets done. I think he's someone that really values relationships, and that can hurt him when he sees one of his guys go somewhere. We saw him on Twitter yesterday, an hour before all the moves started to happen, being like, Brook Lopez's jersey should be retired.
1,000,000%.
Like, that's my guy. So he's going to feel a type of way because he's built these relationships. But I think eventually, and I think this is another thing with Giannis, is that everything with Giannis is calculated. Everything with Giannis is slow. Everything with Giannis is really like thinking through everything, which is why, like, okay, no matter how he might react in the moment, it's more about what he thinks after he's talked through it, after he's seen the whole roster, and after he's been able to have a chance to really understand what the team's going to look like the next season.
Are they done, or will they move Kuzma?
Yeah, I mean, I think
these are the options, by the way. It's like, are they done, or is Kuzma out the door?
I think it is notable that the Bucks were able to avoid giving up any of their first round picks in all of the maneuvering they did yesterday, right? Like they got to a spot where they didn't give up any first round picks. Sure, they gave up the 2 seconds to get off Pat's money, and that's fine. But they still have their 2031 first round pick. In the gap year idea for the Bucks, the whole idea would have been getting to next off season with, $58 million in expiring contracts for Dame and $22 million for Kuzma. You got $80 million with 3 first-round picks because next year they'll be able to use 2 of their future ones and then also the one that they have in the 2026 draft. So you're looking at $80 million in 3 picks. I think what may have happened is John Horst saw, I don't know if there's $80 million of player that we actually want, right? Because if it's that high, you're talking about the Brad Beals of the world. Do you really want Brad Beal in Milwaukee? Probably not.
No,
so
never.
So you got to start thinking about the other things. And next summer, you'd have $22 million of Kuzma and those 3 first-round picks. And $22 million players tend to be players that there could be some overpaid ones in there. There also could be some underpaid ones in there. There could be a guy like Cam Johnson who we saw move this summer. Guys like that might be a little bit better for the team and a little bit more obtainable. So I think they might see what this looks like for a year. Also give Kuzma a chance to build his trade value back up because it didn't go well in Milwaukee. He did not look great, but I think there's some hope that with a full offseason, with everyone trying to figure out how to integrate this, that maybe, Kuzma can have a better year and build that trade value back up.
We're going to take a quick break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Come back. Eric and Aim's going to hang with us for a few more minutes. We still want to talk about a few more things that the Bucks did yesterday. And again, what the odds are now. I'm looking at them up on the Get Up screen right now on ESPN. We'll check over with our friends at Potawatomi to see how the odds have shifted with the addition of Myles Turner to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Let me tell you about our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. Well, just go to the Pella Experience Center. Lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines side by side. This thing is unbelievable with the number of options that they have. Customizable. They've got great options for every budget. So stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire up your fantasy. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Progressive knows there are 2 things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family-owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
A freaking catapult attached to his right hip. Like, I just made that up. A catapult.
That was good.
I kind of liked it. I was rolling with it, Rob.
Like a slingshot? Let's use this out.
I'm calling him old catapult leg from here on out.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Drop it. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress. A holiday or a vacation is great, but it's not a long-term solution. So this is the time to try out therapy. I've benefited from therapy. I've been doing it for, over 10 years, and it has really helped me navigate some of the sticky spots in life. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. They've served over 5 million people globally, and it works. The App Store has it rated a 4.9 out of 5 based on 7 million client reviews. So if you find yourself needing help, BetterHelp is the way to go. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. Eric Name's still in studio with us as we wrap up Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Gabe, you got a question for him?
Mid-level exception, how much do they have left?
They don't have any left.
They don't have anything left.
So as soon as you become a cap room team, you get the exceptions start to disappear. So minimums.
Okay, minimums from here on out is all they can do.
Yeah.
And Eric Name is very much looking forward to potentially having a 4th of July holiday for the first time in...
No, there's work to do. There's always work to do, Jen.
It's a grinder, Chew.
Ryan Rollins back or not?
He's a grinder.
You're kind of guy.
We'll see.
Does nothing for me. I could have told you that.
You're welcome.
Wildy and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great day, everybody. Horst, 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 Horst.
Now we've got delays on 43, southbound from basically Silver Spring to Hampton, northbound from Hampton up to Silver Spring. Westbound 94 backing up just before 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, we've got some backups right past 68th Street and then again through the stadium to 35th. Southbound 41 heavy from Appleton Avenue down to Capitol Drive. And check the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, partly cloudy.